Hello friends, Alessandra here, and I feel a little ridiculous. I realized that about a week or two ago I fed the worms, recorded the video, started editing it, and then with everything going on with Wally, somehow the edited video did not make it to YouTube. So we have a little bit of catching up to do, but spoiler alert, I think the last video that was probably live and working was us transferring our hot frog to our urban worm bag. We were having a lot of issues. The last video that you didn't see was, well, me giving them some watermelon rinds just to get them going. And we were going to check on them today, but I wanted to show you guys between the hot frog transfer and then the watermelon feeding, this is what's come out. This is the most that's dripped out since we've had this bag up. It's probably been a little over 2 weeks since the hot frog got combined with the urban worm bag, so everything's really had time to drift down and compress. I'm thinking that's probably the last we'll see, just because I'm sure the hot frog had a lot of moisture in it. The watermelon does to some extent, but not enough to make all of that. So let me open this back up and show you guys how it's going. In case anybody missed it, we have been kind of in a bit of a doozy state. Look at this, we got sprouts, we got little buggies or two here, we got a few worms on the top. Wow. Sprouts going through the cardboard and everything. Look at them. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at our worms. Look at our worms. We got worms here. This is so great. I was really worried when we stacked them up that they were going to be, a little bit buried in there, because we have red wigglers, we have some European night crawlers. Yeah, this is great. There was watermelon. I don't see any watermelon. So they must be hungry hippos. I don't want to disrupt them too much. Let's see, what is this? Oops, sorry, worm. You're on there. Okay, that's exciting. I think we're going to need to add a little bit of shredded paper or something to this. I got my handy dandy worm bag here, where I was able to shred some stuff up really quick. All right, we threw a paper towel roll in here. We're going to get some shredded paper, just because this watermelon is frozen. They want to freeze them out, and plus there's a lot of these guys on this top here, which is great. But I'm not really worried about it. They'll move as it defrosts. But and also gotta get our oyster shell flour in, because I feel like we should have burned through this bag for the amount of time we've had it, but we'll get them some good grit going in here. We're pretty heavy-handed with that. It's good for them. They like it. Now the watermelon, this is frozen. I tried to defrost it, but didn't give it long enough. But we're losing time tonight, so we will just give them that. And I don't think this is enough for the amount of worms that are in here, but we can just plan on hopefully feeding them more often, because until everybody gets situated and we know how long it takes them, I don't want to overfeed them. That's a pretty hearty chunk of watermelon over here for sure, so they will like that. We know the sugar is their favorite type of food, like most humans, I suppose. They like the sugar. I don't know when we'll check in on them next. I aspire to get this in 2 weeks, give them some time to like really get through this. But so I started to tell you guys, so if you missed it, we found a tumor the size of a golf ball / plum, depending on who you ask, in Wally. It turned out to be cancerous, and by the time they found it, they're like, thankfully it hadn't spread, but things like, we need to get this out. So we were able to get it out, but obviously there's still, cancer cells and stuff in him. So we're seeing a doggy oncologist here in the next 2 weeks, and he will probably start low dose doggy chemo, which supposedly is a lot better for them than it is for humans, because they manage the doses better. It sounds like they'll do several sequences of this treatment. He'll get it. He'll probably have, they say, 3 to 5 days of downtime after each one, which is mostly upset tummy, that kind of issue. But we're hoping for good news. Otherwise, he got his stitches out. They gave him the all clear to resume. He got a nice grooming. He feels much cleaner and better. I can tell for sure he's in much better spirits once he got cleaned up. So he's running around. He's doing okay. The the stitches in the wound healing up really well. We've been monitoring that. And, you know, thankfully, all in all, pretty good. It's just the next couple of months will be on and off rounds of chemo for him. And then just, you know, keeping on top of diagnostics in regards to, you know, checking for growths and stuff. So I'm not sure what that schedule looks like yet, but it has definitely been a bit of a doozy with all of that going on. And, you know, he's like I said before, if you didn't know that he had cancer, or he had even the growth, like when it was still in there, like you would never know. And it was just happenstance that we found it. So really lucky we got to it before it had spread. Although, you know, like I said, it was a pretty big size tumor. So yeah, we're just kind of I feel like bouncing between doctor's appointments and follow-ups a little bit right now, but it's actually getting a lot better. I really can't complain. So do keep him in your thoughts. Moose, he took it pretty well. He could tell that there was something wrong with Wally after his surgery. He gave him space. He's letting him rest. Um, they're back to playing. They're back to running around, having a good time. We were doing some fetch earlier. I'll make sure I put pictures up on the screen if I haven't already. But they've been doing really good. Just, you know, summer. It's hot. They're warm. But we're hoping to be able to get them swimming here in the next couple weeks. We didn't want to go over the holiday weekend or anything because I'm sure it was going to be bananas. But yeah, it's been a busy few weeks. All right, friends. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you're doing well. Bye, friends.